Who's wrong and who's wronger? In this corner, followed by millions, James the Exploding Unicorn Breakwell. And in that corner, ignored by millions, Steve Dash Rinko Levens.
Hey, hello, from behind enemy lines. We're out here fighting the good fight, everybody. We're part of the greatest fight in force on the face of the earth. We've been storming beaches in Normandy. We've been taking on German U-boats. We've quite possibly mixed up World War I and II with those references. But I'll tell you this, we're always fighting for truth and justice and wrong and wronger. So join us on the hunt for Red James Breakwell, which means he's a commie.
What?
But
Now you're mixing up all the wars.
James, we're coming out of the 4th of July, man, and from all indications, yours involved copious amounts of alcohol.
I did not remember our text conversation until you messaged me about this, and I saw that we'd actually talked back and forth. Yeah, that was... It was a rare night where I got to the next morning and I did not entirely remember what happened the day before. It's all right though. I was not in trouble with my wife, so it couldn't have been anything too terrible. So she's always there just in case. So yeah, what'd you do for yours? I imagine something awful and completely unfun.
No, I was at a rock star's 4th of July
Oh, that's
party.
right. Did you get banned?
I did not get banned. But the highlight of the night came after the rock star part. We went to pick up my son at a friend's house. No, his friend was at another person's party. Someone we didn't even know.
Yeah.
And we didn't know anybody at the party. But we walked up the driveway. It was at this farm. So long driveway, and there were a bunch of people sitting in the driveway. And one of them said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Sorry, we're just here to pick up my son. Tall, long hair, looks like he played in Guns N' Roses." And as I'm saying that, a guy comes out of the garage drunk, not Breakwell drunk.
What?
And we'll get to that in a second. But he said, "Hey, I'm Brian. I live here." And I said, "Hi, Brian. I'm Steve." And he handed me a bag of pork. And he said, "Have some meat." And I said, "Done and done, sir." And then he said, "You want another one?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And he disappeared into the garage, got another one out of the fridge, handed me a second bag of meat.
Wow.
And they're in our freezer as we speak.
That is an amazing level of hospitality that should be just universal. When you meet a stranger on the street, they should hand you a bag of meat. I'm disappointed. I've never had this happen before in my life. I clearly need my kids to make better friends. They have failed me greatly today.
But let's talk about you.
Okay, that is my favorite topic.
Something happened to me over the weekend that does not happen to guys in their 50s. I had another dude drunk text me.
No.
And James, do you want to give any kind of context to this?
I think you texted me first. You texted me and I replied.
I texted you like 9 hours earlier.
Yeah, but I was in Minnesota, so the further north you get, the sketchier reception gets. Like, so I go through Iowa. Like, half the state of Iowa is a dead zone for me. We've been in the car for hours and hours. Messages pop up randomly. Anyway, way out there in the boonies, when I happened to see the message on my phone, the first time I looked at it that day, I saw the message from you, and I replied. Because I am cordial, I am responsible, and when I see a message, I reply, even if it happens to be 9 hours after it's sent.
I don't even, when you texted, and I wish I didn't need my phone to record this, because I would read the verbatim, which would probably be the end of your career. It was something to the effect of, "Oh my God, I've had a lot of alcohol."
That might be an exact quote. Okay, we're a big Catholic family up there all day in the pool. Yeah, there was some alcohol consumed. I had finished. Okay, so here's where I went wrong. If you wanna go Breakwell Mistakes 101 right here, let me just say where mistakes were made. So I have been doing whiskey. I've been sticking with whiskey for a long time. It's pretty safe because it tastes awful, so it kind of naturally limits itself. But the first night there, me and one cousin pretty much killed the bottle of whiskey, and there's a lot of cousins to go around. So the second day, they're like, they told me not to go out and buy whiskey because they had stuff there, but most of what they had left is vodka. I don't do vodka. So I didn't want to be a hero. It's like, whiskey, I'm going to drink it straight. I can't let Steve Olivas show me up. I'm sure he would bring that up if I was mixing it. But vodka is just a garbage alcohol. It's like, well, of course I'm just going to mix this. So I just mixed it with some pop and started drinking it, and I couldn't even taste it. And let me tell you, 4 or 5 hours later, it became clear that was a mistake. So, and then all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm texting you. But there were no pictures exchanged. I think I just talked about how incredible. I think you were texting me to say that I set a record on your podcast. I am the first and second most listened to guests on your podcast.
Yeah,
so I was
that's
merely
exactly right.
celebrating that fact. There was no profanity. There was nothing. But I was merely stating facts. And by the way, my drunk texting, the grammar is impeccable. Is it not?
It was.
Yes.
You explained in great detail just how drunk you were.
The last part of my brain to shut down is the English major part. Like up until the end, like at the moment of my death, I will be properly punctuating sentences.
My wife and I were binging through Stranger Things season 3, and I got the text. And I can't remember what I wrote back to you, but then you wrote back to me and continued on about how drunk you were. I said, all right, go sleep it off.
I thought this was a conversation. I thought we were friends here. Clearly, I misunderstood our relationship. You texted me first. I replied. You replied back. I replied again. I mean, by that point in the night, pretty much everybody else had gone to bed. So I was really out of options of people to talk to. It was you or nobody. So you are my last choice. Let's be clear on that.
Well, very good. And I understand you also are a Stranger Things fan.
Yes, I was actually binging it tonight. I was very disappointed to shut it off to come down here and talk to you. But that's my compliment to you for the week, is you actually went someplace cool. You will never be cool.
Yeah.
You'll never do anything cool, but you were at a place that was cool. You happened to be at the mall where they filmed Stranger Things Season 3, and I'm kind of jealous.
I literally just happened to be there. I was dropping my son off at a friend's house. Now, I live in Nashville. This is 4.5 hours away. But he's got hockey practice with his team in Atlanta this week. So his friend lives 2 miles from that mall.
Oh, wow.
And as I always do when I watch things, I go on Wikipedia and read about it. And for their production, they filmed it at this mall in Duluth, Georgia. And as we're driving to his house, I'm like, oh my God, we're like a mile off the freeway from this place. And so I had to go do a selfie.
Was it, I imagine the parking lot was completely deserted and you were the only person interested in being there?
Well, it was deserted not only because of that. I actually expected to see a few sort of sightseers.
Yeah.
Like I have a selfie. I think you watched Breaking Bad, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched Breaking Bad.
Okay, I've got a selfie in front of Walter White's house.
Oh.
I was in Albuquerque, and I took a picture there. And there were a couple people kind of hanging out in the street. That was still when the show was popular. So I kind of expected, because season 3 had just dropped on Thursday. Sunday, I'm at this mall. But anyway, it's a dead mall, so there's nobody, nothing there. There was like one car that was kind of parked sideways in front of me, but otherwise there was nobody there.
Let me just a friendly tip for how to improve your selfies, because you tend to take a lot of them. You take them with, movie sites, you take them with state capitals, but here's how you can improve that. You know the part where your face is in the picture? Just take your face out of the picture. Just get the face out of there. And it'll be a beautiful shot of a mall or a state capitol or something else. Like, I don't know why you keep putting that old guy in front of it. You completely ruin the ambiance.
I think the word selfie has self right in the title, doesn't
Get
it?
rid of the selfie part then. Just take pictures. Be a photographer. Your face, that's the thing. There was a time when people had cameras and they took pictures of things other than their own faces. Go back to that time and just take pictures of other things.
Fabulous. Well, I don't know what episode of Stranger Things you're on, but the season was fantastic. So I loved season 3.
We are 5 minutes from the end of episode 6. It's kind of an important part, and here I am talking to you. Let's get this over with.
Oh my God! It's just ramping up, man.
It is.
All right, well, this is not a critique on all of pop culture. This is Wrong and Wronger, where we debate things that mean nothing to nobody, just like most of our intro means nothing to nobody. But today, James, what topic are we going to take on with the roughly 15 seconds that we have left?
We are going to take on, should you have a beard or no beard? Which is better on guys, beard or no beard?
hot debate on Twitter. Some women really into the beard, some women not really into the beard. And not since Smith Brothers cough drops have beards been so popular on guys, and the two co-hosts notwithstanding.
Yes.
Now, James, given all of the prelude, do we have to exchange compliments at this point?
I believe I complimented you for going to a cool place while being uncool yourself. That was a compliment. And you might have sort of complimented me when you were talking about my drunk texting. I'm not sure if there was a compliment squeezed in there or not.
It was entertaining, I'll tell you that. I'm reading them out loud to my wife across the room, thinking these are the people I hang out with. James Breakwell. Okay. All right, beers. I haven't lit this little cigar, but it's a sweet, and so I'm kind of sucking on the wrapper. It tastes good. James, what are that non sequitur brought to you by a 50-cent cigar from a gas station? James, what do the two sides represent for you today?
Heads are beards, tails are no beards.
All right, heads is beard, and ironically, George Washington, no beard, and it is heads.
I am beards.
You have beards.
All right, this is going to be real quick and simple and to the point. A beard shows you have testosterone. A beard shows you're a man. It shows you can grow that facial hair. You've passed puberty. You've made it. There are hipsters out there in New York who pay for beard implants because they can't grow a beard to fit in.
Are you kidding?
No, this is a real thing. I haven't read about it for a few years, but for a while out there at the height of the beard craze, they were getting the implants plugged in because they wanted to fit in. They wanted to appear to be manly men. It keeps your face warm. It hides the face fat. It's one less decision you have to make in the morning. It makes you look distinguished. I think in general, women prefer beards. I think guys prefer beards. And most of all, both of us have beards. How can you possibly argue you shouldn't have a beard when you yourself have a beard? That, my friend, is checkmate.
James, both of us kind of have beards.
What?
You are the human alpaca. My beard looks like some weeds growing up through cracks in unkempt concrete. But beards in general, I don't know. I don't know that women like beards as much as they think they do, because aesthetically they might be pleasing, but from a pragmatic standpoint, they really have nothing going for them. Beards are scratchy. Like, what chick wants to make out with a dude who's got a big bushy beard? Like, to me, that's just one of the grossest things I can think of. Kids, you've got 27 kids running around your house. You know, they grab your eyeglasses, they grab your hair, they grab your beard. Like, it's just less bogeys for your kids to go after to injure you. And it's hot. It's summertime. It's humid to the point that my sweat glands are tired today, James. I don't want an extra beard weighing down my face. And you know, someone's ringing into my studio phone that nobody has the number except you. But
it's a telemarketer. Put them on. They'll be our first guest. You probably have some life insurance they'd like to sell you.
With Peggy from Russia. Yeah. The last thing about beards, and this is one that I truly don't like. Now, your beard is well kept. My beard is usually transient. I'll shave it off when I go on the road next time. But some of the hipstery kind of stuff, it gets out of control, and it just looks gross. It looks like it smells bad. It looks like there's like woodland creatures making nests in the beard, and the guy would never know because it's so thick and unruly. It's like the guy could take several punches directly to the face and not even feel it. He's got a mattress between his skin and the air. I don't know. I just think it's a cleaner look without the beard, and too few guys are kemping it now. They're too unkempt. That whole hipster movement's got to go, and I'm going to start with beards.
You can't get rid of beards altogether because a few guys don't know how to take care of them. That's like saying we should get rid of hair because some people have bad hair. No, there is good hair and there is bad hair. You just got to take care of it. You got to put in the effort. I trim it like once a month. Like, it is the lowest maintenance thing you can do. You just let it grow out a little bit rather than letting it grow for 6 months at a time. Once every 4 weeks, trim it back a bit. Takes 5 minutes. It's not a problem. It just it kind of completes the whole look. It gives your face symmetry. You got hair on top. You got hair on the bottom. What more do you need? And you never hear women when they talk about somebody like, oh yeah, I'm dating this new guy. He's so clean shaven. Like, that is not an attribute they describe positively about anyone. If they have a beard, they might mention a beard. They won't mention the lack of beard, and certainly not as an asset. Like, oh goody, he doesn't have any facial hair. He might be 12. We don't know. You don't hear guys bragging in the locker room in high school. Yeah, look at me. I don't have a single hair on my face. Like, that is not something you would do. Everybody wants to be able to grow beards, even if you choose choose not to have one at the current point, the ability to grow a nice thick beard is a true milestone of manhood. And if you can't, you might have to go in one of those commercials for low T they're always going on about. I'm sure you probably get calls from telemarketers for those too. You're right in their target age bracket. It's just it's something that I think every guy wants to be able to grow a good beard, and the ones who get rid of it, I think they've always got some extenuating circumstance. Because I think if push came to shove, if we were just left to our own devices, I think every guy who could grow a beard would grow a beard, and that would be paradise. That's the world we should be shooting for. And if you want to miss out on that, Steve, I don't understand at all.
You know, another one of those gateways of adolescence is having your armpits start to stink. But I think we have remedies for that. Like, just because teenage boys like it doesn't mean it's a good thing. And it's fine for single guys that never want to date chicks, but there was like a razor or a cream, shaving cream commercial a while ago where the guy was clean shaven. At the end of the commercial, the woman, like his woman, was like rubbing her face on his like a kitty cat and sort of stroking it because that smooth skin was so appealing to her. That no woman wants like rug burns on her face after making out with her guy. Nah, the beard's, it's got to go, James.
Well, luckily for you and me, beard or no beard, nobody's getting close to these faces, so it's the great equalizer. I'm going to go ahead and declare an end to this podcast and roll because I got some Stranger Things I need to watch.
Yeah, you do. Man, it's good, too. I tell you, talking to me is great. That's just marginally better.
Okay. Well, marginally, yes. I will take your word for that. So, all right, I'm going to roll here. If you want to vote for beards, which obviously you do, no other incentive needed, vote for 46, and we really don't need to roll for the other ones, but I guess if you just want, as a joke, to vote for Steve, to maybe give him a few pity votes, vote for 23. And if you want to throw your vote away, vote for 33.
All right. Well, James has to skedaddle down to the TV room now that the kids are in bed, and he can watch Stranger Things while his wife dreams of the day he shaves that beard. If you want to vote for James, vote 46. If you want to vote for me, vote Michael Jordan, LeBron James. All the superstars wear number 23, and Dr. Steve ain't no exception to that. One number you need to know, so I can win again this week. We won't talk about that. James skipped right over it. And throw your vote away, vote for 33. So until next week, when we return to completely befuddle you with how we can possibly do this for over 100 weeks in a row. This is Steve Olivas, Dr. Steve, talking for James the Exploding Unicorn Breakwell, saying thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and as always, remember, 2 wrongs can make a right.